This is not as difficult as what we faced with Raila on Ford Kenya, the party of Jaramogi. When the time came when all doors were closed, we left. So leaving ODM is not an issue to me. What is an issue to me is, do you carry the aspirations, the beliefs, the core values, the dream of Raila? If you have that with you, please get out and go and start a new movement.
Honorable Karoli Omondi asks his friends and apprentices whom they are with in the Linda Mwananchi front to stop the attachment they have with ODM party, since the Linda ground fraction that has run away with it, not to the benefit of the party and supporters of the party, but to the support of William Samoei Ruto. Karoli Omondi says that it is no different from the time back when he and Raila Amolo Odinga decided to ditch the party of Jaramogi, that is Ford Kenya, back then, to form another vehicle that will pursue their interest. He says the issue is not being attached to ODM. The issue is finding another vehicle but pursuing the same mission, the same objectives, the same vision that Raila Amolo Odinga had. Anyway, he's issued a little bit of non-irreducible minimums that had to be fulfilled if the Linda ground front wants them to come merge together and work as a single unit as ODM. Listen to him in this clip.
If anybody expects us to engage with them from that other side, rule number one, they must disengage from UDA. That is number one. Number two, they must withdraw the letter they issued that they'll exit Azimio coalition. Number three, they must open the delegates conference for competitive election of party officials. They must. And let me tell you, for me, psychologically, I made up my mind, even when Raila was alive, that I'll exit ODM. A lot of my friends still have a lot of attachment to ODM. But I ask them, I look at them in the eyes and I tell them, this is not as difficult as what we faced with Raila on Ford Kenya, the party of Jaramogi. When the time came when all doors were closed, we left. So leaving ODM is not an issue to me. What is an issue to me is, do you carry the aspirations, the beliefs, the core values, the dream of Raila? If you have that with you, please get out and go and start a new movement and deliver on that promise. Don't waste time.
Great. As you've heard, condition number one, call or denounce their engagement with the ruling party, UDA, which you all know it's very difficult. We had Gladys Wanga, who made it categorically that ODM is going to form the next government or become part of the next government, which according to them, the person who could form the next government with them is President William Samoei Ruto. So not any time that they're going to leave that union. So that one automatically tells you creating this union after a breakup is very difficult.
We know where we are, we know where we have come from, and we know where we are going. And we are not going to be confused along the way. We are in the broadest government, we are very clear. And moving forward, ODM party will either be the government or will be part of the coalition that forms the next government in the Republic of Kenya.
Condition number two, Karoli says, is denouncing that they are writing a letter to disengage from the Azimio la Umoja one-party alliance. And condition number three is calling a national delegates conference to elect leaders who mean well for the party and not selecting the leaders. Now, will that be a possible mission? Of course, that is not a possible mission. having in mind that there's a lot of money that has already been pumped in ODM party. And he's mentioned, not really him, James Agribob Orengo back in JKL Live mentioned leaders like Juneta Mohammed, Gladys Wanga, John Mbadi had already sold the party to William Samoei Ruto. And Ruto wanted to impose leaders of his own liking into ODM's central committee, which again is not possible. And as you see, or as we've listened, Karoli says there are some leaders in the retreat meeting in Mombasa. The Linda ground were now contemplating those who are in cabinet. They're contemplating resigning from the cabinet and contesting other party positions. So they are a party driven by greed. And that tells you these are the last kicks of a dying horse. Well, it is not far from what Babu Owino did say. This is no longer the Orange Democratic Movement he knew. This is a lemon. Let me just jog your mind a little bit. This is Babu Owino.
But ODM does not exist. The ODM that I knew is not, hii saizi ni ndimu, hii ni lemon, because there's a problem. Saizi si ODM, saizi tuko na lemon, si orange anymore. So, I can
the Lemon
clearly,
Democratic Movement.
Now saizi ni LDM.
Well, after all this, do you still stand to say that ODM still exists? Maybe yes, other shell. Technically, it's on its deathbed. It may take time for some people to accept this fact. But since time immemorial, yes, we've seen parties being formed and they die a natural death. But this for ODM has been an orchestrated death by William Samoei Ruto, and Gachagua has been warning the ODM party members that William Samoei Ruto is planning to shake up this party and break it in totality. Now that Ruto is done and dusted with the ODM party, what is his next move? His next move is to make sure to cause disruption in the united opposition. Unfortunately, there is this one man who is very skeptical of any comments, of any steps anybody within the united opposition makes, and he leaves no stone unturned. That is the DCP party leader, former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua. Whenever he spots somebody, and he said there are moles in the opposition who are working for William Samoei Ruto, and their role is to shake up the opposition, make sure they break and do not go into 2027 as a unit. He was actually referring to Jeremiah Kioni, who was actually saying, what if Gachagua becomes the flag bearer? Where will Kalonzo go? Where will Matiang'i go? He forgets there is an arrangement of these people selecting one person who will be the flag bearer and having the others give that support, because they cannot live another day having President William Samoei Ruto elected as president or committing another mistake that they did back then with Daniel Toroitich Arap Moi, when we had several candidates in the mountain running for presidency. While these votes were combined, they were so many in comparison to the number of votes that Daniel Toroitich Arap Moi was elected with. So the divide and rule tactic, they are not welcoming it anytime sooner. Coming back to ODM, I too, if I was to give a piece of advice, will tell them to, especially leaders in Linda Mwananchi, stop the detachment. What you should carry along with you into the next party that you'll be forming, and Babu confirmed this, is the mission, the vision, the objectives, and the will of the people. Because as you know, the saying goes, Vox Populi, Vox Dio. The voice of the people is the voice of the Lord. Final. What is your take in all these? Give me that in the comment section. If you love watching content of this nature and you're watching from my YouTube channel, kindly subscribe and press the notification button so anytime that we are live or we upload content of this nature, you'll be the very first person to be notified. Ahmed Khalif is my name for the Unscripted Talks here in Dub Radio. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuhu.
Kwa timba kali za Afrika, Dub Radio ndio mpango mzima.